Hello everyone! Doesn't look like anyone's joined yet. Hi everyone! I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to join. How's everyone doing? Happy Thursday! Looks like we've got a good crew right now. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to Cooking Together with My Food and Family. This is an Instagram and Facebook live series that we're using to help us all navigate some of these uncertain times and equip you with the knowledge and skills you need to conquer your kitchen and make cooking fun. My name is Lauren Baer. I am on the Kraft-Heinz Culinary Team. Welcome to my kitchen. So we've been talking a lot this week about pantry essentials, pantry staples, and I know if anyone watched Tuesday's live, Sarah was talking about the top 10 things that she keeps in her pantry so that you always have a meal ready to go. So I wanted to kind of build on some of the tips that she talked through on today's live. And I know Sarah talked a lot about, getting dinner on the table, and I thought we could chat about some other meal occasions, some other eating occasions, breakfast, snacking, desserts, and some of the pantry items I like to keep on hand for those times. So, first item I have on here is just fruits. Really are great for any of those eating occasions. You can have them for breakfast, snacking, or dessert. And I've got here some individually portioned fruits. You could also get these canned. I like them individually portioned because it just helps me with that portion control, but really any kind that you like. Also these fruit pouches. People think these are just for kids, but I really like snacking on these. They're great to throw into your bag if you're gonna go to the park, or if you're just gonna go for a walk or something. They are great for on the go. And I also use them for baking. They just help create some moisture in some of my baked goods, so they've got multiple purposes there. Dried fruits. These are also great in baking, and I like to add them in salads a lot of the time. They just give like a nice punch of flavor that you might not have in some of your regular recipes. And then also granolas, oats, granola bars, things like that. So you always have something ready to go that you can probably mix into things you might already have in the fridge or the freezer. So I wanted to talk through a recipe that we like to make in the kitchens. It is for our overnight banana oatmeal. So I don't know if anyone's ever made overnight oats, but they're great because you can throw a batch together in the beginning of the week. In the morning, you put them in the fridge overnight, and in the morning you have breakfast ready to go. This recipe is great because you can make it up to 3 days ahead, so you could have breakfast ready to go, for the entire week if you want. And they're made with mainly pantry staples, things you have on hand. So first, starting off with a box of our Jell-O pudding. This is the banana cream flavor, but really you can use any kind of pudding that you want. And I've already prepared it. This is made with 2.5 cups of cold milk. So the box directions on our pudding is for 2 cups of milk. We're adding an extra 1/2 cup in here because we want the mixture to be a little looser because we're gonna add some more things into it. And as it sits overnight, it's gonna absorb some of that liquid and we don't want it to get too thick. So keep that in mind. So 1 box, 2.5 cups of milk. I'm gonna add to that our oats. So a great pantry staple. This is 1 cup of oats. And then I have 1 cup of sliced banana. Again, if you're using a different flavor of pudding, use whatever fruit you have on hand. If you wanted to use a dried fruit, that would probably reconstitute overnight. It might be really delicious too. I have, let's see, my little spatula. 1 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. This is plain. Again, you could probably play around with this if you wanted to do like a flavored yogurt. That would probably work. Like maybe this would be like, if you did strawberry yogurt, you could do a strawberry banana overnight oatmeal. And then I have some Planters mixed nuts. So actually, these are just cashews. The recipe calls for almonds, but I didn't have those. So I'm using cashews. I love banana and cashew together. So I'm gonna use 1/4 cup, which is half of this amount. And I'm gonna save the other half for in the morning when I take my overnight oats out, I can top them with some of these nuts. And it just gives like a nice little crunch. So I'm just stirring to combine. And we just want everything like mixed well. This will make enough for 4 servings. So you can make this for your family in the morning, or if you live alone like I do, it could be a great meal prep recipe. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. And I just have these great little mason jars that I love to use for meal prep in general. They're great for, if you did like a layered salad or any sort of grain salad, but they're great for this occasion as well. And I just put it in here, and the nice thing is they come, they have a top, and you can just throw it into your fridge overnight like that. Then in the morning, when you take it out, it'll be ready to eat, and you can just top it with some nuts, you can top it with some extra fruit, really whatever you like, and you have this great breakfast. So that's our first recipe that I wanted to show. So kind of onto a snacking thing. I don't know about you, but I have been snacking like crazy over the past few weeks. So I like to keep things on hand that are a little bit more healthy, so I have things that I'm not going to be eating just junk all day. And I love having, different nut mixes. Planters has really great nuts, nut butters. If you cut up apples or fruit, you can dip them into these things like pretzels, popcorn, whole grain crackers. Those are all things that you can keep in your pantry and use whenever you get a little hungry. So this is a really fun snack mix that I like to make. It's a chili parmesan snack mix. So I have here, I'm cutting this recipe in half because it's just for me, but if you have a larger family, you could definitely double it. This is 4 cups of popped popcorn, and you can use microwave popcorn if you want. You can buy, popcorn that's pre-popped in a bag, whatever you have on hand. Then I have in here, this is 2 tablespoons of Kraft grated Parmesan cheese and a little bit of chili powder. So I'm just gonna toss this with my popcorn just so it gets nice and coated. And the great thing about this is you can really customize this again to flavors that you like. So I think if you've got like ranch powder, that would be really good, or everything but the bagel seasoning would be really nice. So again, using some of those seasonings that you might already have on hand in your pantry to flavor your snack mix. I've got a 1 cup of pretzels. I'm gonna add that in here. And then I've got 3/4 cup, let's see if you can see, of mixed Planters nuts. So again, whatever nut mix you have on hand. Again, like dried fruit would be really good in here if you wanted more of a trail mix. So you could add a little chocolate in here if you like a sweet salty. And I just mix it up like that. So we've got our fun little snack. I'm gonna get one. But what I like to do is, so I'm not overeating, is keep these little snack bags and just portion out a little bit of it, about 1/2 cup, and I put these in my pantry so that when I'm hungry, you know, when that hunger pain strikes me or I'm bored, I have these ready to go, and they're pre-portioned and I won't overeat, which is great. But these are wonderful, and you just store these at room temp in a closed container, and it will last for a while. So that's our snack mix. So the other thing that I wanted to chat through, I guess lastly, is desserts. So of course we all know baked goods. Everyone's been baking during quarantine, and most of our baking ingredients are pantry staples. I love to personally have a lot of different chocolates on hand for any type of baking needs. If you have a chocolate craving, coconut, marshmallows, s'mores. I know everybody loves s'mores in the summertime. We have some great recipes. Sorry, that popcorn. We have some great recipes on myfoodandfamily.com for mug cakes, where you make these individual mug cakes using pudding mix and some other ingredients that are just in your pantry, and then an egg. Even just making cookies, and again, we talked through this a few weeks ago, but being able to make your cookie dough and pre-portion it and put it in the freezer so you can have a freshly baked cookie whenever you want. Another thing that I really love to have is this Baker's dipping chocolate. It's great because you can just melt the chocolate in this container, and then I just dip whatever fruit I have in my fridge in it, and you have this really like fresh dessert for whenever you get a sweet craving. So this is really great to have on hand as well. And you know, of course, in addition to all of the other baking ingredients that you have, like sugars and flours, baking powder, baking soda, all of that. But we always recommend to have at least 2 weeks worth of pantry ingredients on hand at a time. That just makes sure that if there's ever some uncertain times like we're in right now, or things aren't necessarily stocked great in your kitchen or at your grocery store, that you're ready to make things as you want at home, and you have kind of like your arsenal of recipes. So that is what I had today. I'm going to check to see if there are any questions as I went. Just bear with me 1 second. Can you use nutritional yeast on popcorn? Yes, you can use nutritional yeast on popcorn. So for everyone that doesn't know nutritional yeast, it gives kind of a almost like a cheesy flavor. So it would be a great replacement for the grated Parmesan that we're using. If you wanted to use it in other applications, I think you could toss it on crackers, you know, any other nut that you want. Any other kind of snack mix would be really nice. I know people put it on pastas, just to give kind of that cheesy flavor. Would this work with sugar-free pudding? Yeah, I think it would work. You just need, it's basically just the base. So you just need your mix, and you just want it to be a little bit looser. The other thing is, if you wanted to use non-dairy milk, I would just cut back on some of the milk that we're using. So it would be more of like 1.5 cups to 2 cups of liquid, and that would be for like a soy milk or an almond milk. Someone's asking what's the shelf life of the pouches. I'm not sure if they're talking about these. I would just check whatever the manufacturer is, or check the box when you buy it. I'm not really sure exactly, but I would guess that it's pretty long. Let's see. This one, it's probably about a year, I would guess. Can you use the dipping chocolate in baking recipes? You know, I think I would suggest it mainly just for dipping. I wouldn't use it for baking necessarily, but you could definitely use it in a baked application where like you're gonna do a drizzle or something like that on top. That would be nice. I mean, the idea is that it's really just convenient to be able to melt it. So it's great to have on hand for that case. What are your favorite go-to easy lunch recipes using pantry staples? So, oh man, so many things. I know Sarah talked a lot about like grains and pastas. that's why I didn't talk about this, but I love like canned beans, canned chickpeas, maybe like some nice quinoa or like an ancient grain, and just doing like a really nice grain salad using maybe like olive oil and vinegar or one of our Kraft dressings, adding a little bit of feta cheese or whatever vegetables I might have in my fridge. That's kind of like my go-to recipe that I will make and eat all the time. And again, like if you made something like that, you can always put them in your mason jars or Tupperware, and it's great meal prep if you make a really big batch. You can eat it throughout the week. Let's see if there's any others. Doesn't look like there's any other questions. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. I will be back tomorrow at noon making some barbecue sloppy joes, so please tune in for that. It's going to be a really good one. And until then, let's keep cooking together. Thanks everyone.